Welcome to the KQ Show, episode 35, Instructional Guide for Your Listening Pleasure. For those new to the show, hi, I'm Kyle. I'm just like everyone else. I collect new and old Yukons and love the smell of a good van carpet. As a young lad, I had what my parents would call the gift of gab. I love conversations with interesting people and, of course, a few cocktails. I'll be chatting with business owners, athletes, and those yuck-face stickers you put on poisonous containers. Episode 35 brings us talking to a CEO. I sit down with my friend and current CEO of ITG, Sergio Castro. We talk entrepreneurship, daily motivation, and what he does to maintain a work and life balance. We also had a couple shots, and we had a couple laughs. So, enjoy the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and animals. Episode 35. I am here with El Presidente, Sergio Castro, his second episode. Welcome in.
Wow. It only took how long?
Well, 2 years. It'll be 2 years. March 5th will be 2 years to the day of when you were on here last. 3 days?
Wow.
Yeah.
2 years. 2 years. That's a long time, my man.
Oh yeah. I do want to do one thing. So
What's up?
I'm gonna call this little random ass icebreaker. I try to either find or just some crazy ass question. You get to pick one animated fictional character to have sex with. Who you picking?
That I would have sex with? Mm-hmm. Fictional?
Like, while you're there, I'll give you mine. Mine was Lola Bunny, hands down.
Who?
Lola Bunny, Space Jam.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember she came on the court. She could ball. She appeared to be attractive.
You're right.
She was an animated bunny.
She was very attractive bunny for a cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I mean, So,
Can it be video games too?
oh yeah, for sure. Anything as long as
games?
it's animated, it could be whatever. Yep, it could be a puppet. I don't care, man. It's a
puppet. That I would have sex with?
Mm-hmm. You say relationship. I guess it's kind of weird. I don't know if I'm gonna be banging a bunny. That'd be kinda weird. I don't know if that's really feasible, but I guess just say maybe.
I was gonna say, can I take it out on a date? Like, can I have a dinner with them? Like,
I don't know what
can I get to know them before we get there?
I don't know if the waiter will be like, now this animated tree you have, it's not eating its food.
Whoa, man, that's an off the wall question. I would have to say, I mean, it would have to be like the ultimate, like the most famous cartoon woman there is out there. It would have to be, right? And
what do you?
And that can't be no other than Minnie Mouse. Minnie.
Okay.
What is it? What's her name?
Was she Minnie Mouse?
Minnie Mouse?
Yeah, the original one. Yeah,
Minnie Mouse?
Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
The triple OG, I believe.
I think you have to go that route if you're thinking, can she provide?
Maybe I didn't really. I started thinking about this as I just said in my head. Kyle, are you talking about fucking a bunny? I guess the questions are: is there more we need to know?
I mean, there has to be more to it than just that, right? Like, you
looking for qualities?
I'm looking for quality. I'm looking for net worth, right? I'm looking for stability, and I think Minnie is right up there. So, without much thought about it, I would say what's up to Minnie.
Double date, you, Minnie, me, and Lola. You're on a date with a mouse. On a date with a rabbit. Like, guys, your careers didn't do too well, huh? Your life didn't pan out the way.
Come on.
We have to find a restaurant that'd be acceptable with human, animal.
She's like the first Granger mom out there, right?
Oh, yeah,
like that's
sure.
like the original, right?
Yeah. And Lola's straight from the project. I like that.
Hey man, I don't hate on Lola. Lola's great. So what a good question to start our. What's the episode?
So episode 35.
Ooh, 35.
Dude, I'm 5 more until I get to make a new banner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it, man. I love it. I try to stay up. You guys, you have a lot, but I try to stay up with your podcast. one of my favorite ones has to be Justin Hendricks, man. I mean, it has to be that guy. That guy's pretty cool, I would say.
I mean, he's all right.
I like that guy.
I don't know him that well.
I don't talk to that guy a lot. I would like to maybe talk to him a little bit more, but I like that guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he's someone that that I wouldn't mind being in a room with.
Yeah.
That sounded really.
Are you going to hurt this? I tell you what, let me get in a room with him one time.
No, I mean,
because we're gonna hang out. We have a great time. I might even make cookies or something.
I don't know, man. Like I like that guy. I think we can be best friends. No, he's a good guy. He always checks up on me every couple of years, make sure I'm good. So, I mean, you've had other people in the podcast that have been great too. I mean, you had a Frucci, that was a good one as well. So, there's been a couple other ones. I know you had Jameson. That was a pretty funny one. But yeah, man, I try to stay up as much as possible.
Appreciate that.
2 years is a long time. I mean, kudos, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Come on. Like, do we have any type of sound effects here? Like, can we?
So what happens is my bank account is they don't let any come out if it's in what they call the negatives, I guess. So there's something red that happens.
We need to make it sound like there's more people here. You know what I mean? Like
just random background
good
sounds.
Good job.
You, hey, the next step is I'll have like a producer who can be the bat on any podcast you ever seen where they always have the guy that can look stuff up.
Yeah.
Who are the 1975?
What do you call those?
Just I don't know,
like the engineers. The engineers.
Yeah,
you need an engineer, no doubt.
Exactly. And somebody can go, hey, I got to stop you guys. One of your mics is undone. Instead of me 45 minutes later going, shit.
Hey, I can't hear anything for the last 30 minutes. Can we redo it all over again?
At the end of the podcast, I'm so drunk. Kyle, the power went out a half hour ago. You guys just keep talking into the mics. There's a tornado warning, and you smell like Patron.
Oh, my gosh, that's hilarious. That Patron that we just did was pretty good, by the way. We just had one shot of Patron that took me back to linebacker days, Mm-hmm. I try to make it to linebacker here and there, The other day, funny story. The other day I went with a buddy of mine. And we got what is called in the industry as a quick drink. I believe it has a little bit of Stoli raspberry, right?
It does. It has a lot of it, depending on
with a dash of soda water. Is that what
I use Diet Sprite. It's still the same. Soda water tastes a lot like you're drinking out of someone's penis head. So I like to add the Diet Sprite, which makes it taste more, like my own penis head, I guess.
The point of the story is it was even when I'm not with you, bro, you seem to show up. So that was kind of it was kind of nostalgic because I haven't seen you or talked to you in quite a time
since we biked.
Yeah.
Was that August?
It's been a long time, buddy. It has been a long time. So
when we get that Indiana winter, I just like to hang out right inside. I don't leave. I got an Xbox and porn's still free. So yep,
that's good. I mean, that's you mean. That's a deal right there. Always a bargain. Always a bargain. When you get it for free, I mean, how can you beat that?
Well,
while you're beating. I can't. All right, we're gonna move on from that one.
So no. Speaking of Christian and Jesus.
No, here's what I mean by all this. Right, it's been a long time since I've talked to you, and I missed you, man. And I have been lately. I have been looking at new relationships and old relationships, and you have your work, your career, your family, and it's all about a balance, right? Like when to put in time with this relationship, when to put in time with your kids, and so on. And one thing that I have learned lately is I don't have to commit, a bulk of hours to be active in someone's life.
Gotcha.
So what I've been doing and what I've been doing with some of my friends and some of my active friends, and they understand as well, because we're all pretty busy. Everyone has their own lives going, is that we commit, like, maybe not a night or maybe not a whole day or an afternoon, but we commit like, hey, 30 to 45 minutes once, a week or once a month, where we can kind of come together, we can kind of check up on each other. And it's worked out very, very well. For the people that I really, really want to, like, be active still in my life, I just kind of, I can set aside 35 minutes, 45 minutes for you. Like, I can do that. Like, that shouldn't be so hard to do, where it's like, hey, on my way, home from work, hey, let's stop and have a quick drink. The key is to stick with the schedule, right?
You said quick drink. we have a quote we say amongst each other. Backer for one. Backer for one means now.
Exactly. It's so funny because the other day I was there and somebody came to me. He's like, "Oh man, we haven't seen you in so long. During the day, like, you should come through and more often." And I was like, "Here's the thing. I love this place. I love that place. The problem with that place is that, like, it's a black hole, where time just disappears.
Yeah, you stay still. You're 22, and you're hopped up on either Adderall or Red Bull, whatever it is. You don't have to sleep, and you just get a drink.
Even my wife tells me, he's like, "Hey, where you going to have a drink?" And as soon as I say backer, she's like, "You know what?"
She puts her different clothes on.
You know what? This is gonna be an early night for me. I'll be in bed. Yeah, I try to stay away from Backer because I love that place so much that I just want to stick around there for a long time. But if I had, this is one thing that I learned, Kyle. There's active friends, right, and there is inactive friends, but they have a lot of history in your life, and they were part of your life for a reason. 35 to 40 minutes, man, 45 minutes, that's not a very long time, man. I think that, I'm aware of it now. So I'll tell you what, if you have been my friend, in the past, or if you are not active as in my friendship, I am offering 30 to 45 minutes.
You putting out a schedule?
I just hit me up. I will make sure I make time. And I'm telling you, it does wonders to a friendship, especially for people that are trying to, like, grow and
better themselves.
Better themselves. So I am willing to do that. So give me a call. Let's be friends.
I think you just technically put that on your life wall. I think you just posted that to your life wall. Today on Surge's My Own Space. I don't know. Throw an extra word in there. No, but that is kind of cool. Like, we talk about, actually, bringing up Justin, like I always, when you have, like, friends you have, like, of course, he's got a ton going on, same with, like, with Wizzy, like, everybody has a ton going on, so we just factor at that time. And I'll just hassle him. I'll be like, "Look, guys, I have all the time in the world. I'm going to do every single day until we hang out. Like, just play even like a small lunch, like, in an hour, but, like, you reconnect, and it almost, like, reignites, like, your friendship. And,
I agree, man. I agree. And I think a lot of people, like, there's just so many friends that are going through very similar things, or have gone through some things that you haven't, that they can go ahead and help you through some of the path that's happening in your life at that specific moment. By the way, you brought a name. I like to go ahead and give a shout out to a friend, a longtime friend, and an old friend, Wizzy. I haven't talked to him or seen him in a very long time. I hope you're doing well. Let's hang out sometime, buddy. All right. I also like to go ahead and give another shout out. Can this be the shout out, the moment where I do a shout out, or is it at the end?
It's a $7 fee anytime you do it before a certain time limit. So
okay, per shout out.
Yeah, you're at $7 right now.
All right, all right. Well, you know what? Let me see how much money I have in my wallet here.
I can do 2 for $10.
I'll take it. Sexton, hey buddy, I hope you're doing well. that's another guy that I like. That I like to throw and bounce things off of because he is a. I see. We have a lot of similarities. He's a workaholic. I am as well. And obviously the others. H. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well.
Is it Hector?
It's H for Hector, I believe. But in the streets, I think they call him H only. I don't know why.
Now,
it all started like 10 years ago.
Is it spelled with an A? Or is it just one letter H?
No, it's just spelled with an H, I believe. Okay. Yes. I just H. Right. What a great guy, too.
He's an Irish fella, right? Redhead, or is that not?
I would say Southern Irish.
I'm Southern Irish. From the homeland, Southern Ireland. Tan 24/7 somehow, but that's Southern Island heat.
He carries an all year around tan, so that's why I say Southern Irish. I think that's correct. I don't know. Check my geography.
We both went to Adams. Everybody fact checks everything.
Oh man, but no, that's it's awesome having great friends around you, man. It's just great, we're our age now, and I'm not gonna say my age out there, but you know what it is. It's kind of it's I've been blessed to have a very, very tight group of friends that I have grown up with, including yourself, Kyle. So I thank you for your friendship and everybody that from your group that's taking me in as well as my brothers and friends. So absolutely. KD also, I want to shout out to KD.
You have a lot of friends with just letters?
Yeah, no.
Is he also an Irish fellow?
He's also Southern Irish, to be honest.
He seems, when I met him, his accent was very Southern Irish. No, I was just talking about KD the other day. I was talking about, man, like I saw he producing one of Hector's tracks. He was on Instagram. I saw it. I've been following all your Reigndrop Productions, following all this shit. So,
yeah?
And I was like, because the first time I met Katie, I thought it was hilarious. Then when we started getting into deep conversation, then I started how talented he was when he painted that fucking tiger on he just gets his gigantic, what they call a little paint. What do they call it? A little canvas, right?
Yeah.
Huge, though. Huge, like 55-inch TV huge.
Yep.
He just goes in my garage. He's figuring out how to use little spray guns. And then, the next day, I go out and he's got a freaking gigantic airbrush tiger. And I'm like, but the fuck do you do this? How did you... I thought it was insane.
I'm a little biased, but I think KD is... if not the best artist that I've seen in the Midwest. I always tell him this. I always make sure he knows. I want him to walk around like he is. He's so humbled, and I just believe that he is the best artist that I know. Not just on the canvas side, but just in the production side as well. He's definitely the best producer I have known. I've worked with some producers in the past, my LC3 days, when he was a rookie. But I think what he's doing in his growth on that side, on the artist side of things, is second to none. So I'm always I'm his biggest fan, I believe. I always root very, very loudly for him, as well as with H. So anytime that those guys get together, and they're doing something, especially in the music side, in the production side, they strike gold every time. What better way to continue that than by having them as my business partners as well. So
and I know we got a lot of stuff that we want to kind of get into, but listen, nobody will answer any questions.
Yeah.
Okay, about this Reigndrop Productions.
Yeah.
Hector kept dying. He's like, "Oh, talk to sir." I'm like, all right, eventually, trying to find some time to talk about it.
Yeah.
Bro, what are you fucking building and what's going on? Somebody shed me some light on what you're...
So,
I mean, it seems like a project, and I'm very excited to hear about it.
It is a project. We've been working on this project for the last, I would say, 4 months or so. And a lot of it came from an idea, a conversation, a motive. You got to understand, KD, Hector, H, and I have been brothers since we first met. Our families have known each other since we lived in Venezuela. So there is a brotherhood connection there that is almost undeniable and scripted when it comes to fate. That I know now, right? But throughout our 20s, man, we were so, throughout, I struggle talking about our 20s sometimes, even though that was the time that we got very close, us three, because I wouldn't say we squandered some time, but we did. We focused on partying. We focused on
what you're supposed to doing.
Yeah, no, I get it. But looking back at it now, and where I am in my life, I think about if we could have really focused on growth at that time, where we would be now. It's easy to do that now because of where you are, where you know
so much more.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Looking
right.
Back, it's always easy.
It's easy to say that, right? But I can't deny that those times is what made us close too.
And
as well,
that's
right?
I mean, I feel like if you didn't, I think, and I mean, derail anything, but I think about that all the time. Like, man, did I wait? But I realized, like, man, the bonds I'm still connected to, all stemmed from people and things I learned by being out, lack of better terms, being drunk at bars. I networked more and found people where I had more in common with and built connections and bonds. So I think it's something you kind of almost have to do, because I know now that I'm 40, I can't do any of it.
Yeah,
I'm in bed by like 8:36 p.m. anymore.
No, I get it. Me too.
But I agree for sure.
But we had a conversation where we said, hey, listen, like I believe that we just felt like we didn't want to waste any more time, man, like together. We feel like everybody had a strong asset within themselves, and that if we could bring some of those assets to the front together, that we could build something special. When we had that conversation, we kind of, did some thinking and just kind of came up with the idea of having building a production company, right? The production company obviously is Reigndrop Productions, and then we really focused on what it meant, what the path was of Reigndrop Productions, and a lot of it that we came back to was, and I'm not going to give you everything that we're working on.
I can't keep
but I will give you.
You guys have been blue balling me for 6 months.
I will give you. I'll give you our next step, right? And a lot of Reigndrop Productions, it's born out of motivation and resources direction. And what I mean by that is, if you are a person that is going through your life and you believe that you have something greater that you want to go ahead and show to the world, you believe that you could be doing something bigger than yourself, you believe that you could be in a path where you deem success to be at the end, but you don't know how to do it. You don't have the motivation to do it. You don't have the resource, or you don't know the resources. Reigndrop Productions is definitely for you. And what I mean by that is We want to create a brand that really, really focuses on growth for anyone out there that that maybe doesn't believe in themselves a little bit, man, and doesn't know what to do next. They know they want to do something big, but they don't know what to do next. So if you have been following on IG, Reigndrop Productions, if you need motivation quotes, or anything that can get you through the day, follow us on IG. I think you'll find a lot of what you need on a daily basis there. I say this, guys, because when I first started my business, I found myself listening to just motivation podcasts, motivation quotes, Denzel Washington's, Matthew McConaughey, just all these speeches, right? It kind of, I would wake up, 5:30 in the morning, put that on, right? And it's funny because Kayla, my wife, she would be sleeping, and I'd go into the bathroom, take a shower, and I would have that on. And she was like, every single time that you wake up and you start these motivation videos, I can hear them from the bathroom. So it's almost like she was also part of it.
Yeah,
right?
She's motivated as well.
And it worked out well because when times were gloomy a little bit, or when I didn't feel like I had it in me, it almost like she was like my backup. Where I drew strength from, right? So
That's awesome.
she ended up, buying into all of it as well. And at the times when I needed, more than a podcast quote, she was there for that. So going back to the Reigndrop Productions, I mean, this is a brand that that we want to go ahead and build based on just goals, motivation, and how to go ahead and doing the right things to get there, and not being so hard on yourself when you fail, when you lose, or in things like that. So make sure that you follow us on IG for your daily motivation.
No, that's Reigndrops, REIG. I mean,
correct.
It's not Reign, REIGHN.
GN.
Damn, I was so close to feeling like I could spell
you almost got it.
But it's not a regular Reigndrop, because I did try to follow that, and that was some girl who just kept showing me how get ready with me, and I was like, whatever you guys are doing, it seems cool, but whoever this girl is, I don't care what she's wearing today.
No, it's Reigndrop Productions, Reigndrop.Productions, and you'll see a lot of just kind of motivational videos to get you through.
I'll post the link
day.
too. I'll post. Rodney, you able to? He's got it. All right, yeah.
Hey, Rod.
It's Rodney.
Oh, Rodney.
Don't call him Rod either. He gets
really upset.
He's a bipolar homeless guy I found.
Our next project is coming up, though.
So what's the first project?
The first project is to make sure that we drew eyes on the digital platform, right? So we're doing that.
Now you guys, I don't mean everybody. Just so you guys are on IG. Are you on Facebook, TikTok, anything else?
That's coming.
Okay.
We are focusing on IG right now. But that is coming. Every single platform has its different algorithm, as you probably already know.
Oh yeah.
And we want to, this is not a race per se of how we're looking at it. We want to do this right and want to roll it out the right way. Our next project is it's what we're working on right now, which is a huge project of ours. It's taking us a lot of time, but I promise you it'll be worth it. Right now we're in the middle of construction for our new studio, where we will be rolling a podcast out here in the next what are we in March? It'll probably be most likely April, where we're looking at maybe launching maybe at the end of April, beginning of May, if everything goes well. And it's going to be something that KD, H, and I are working on. So that is actually our next move, and we are doing it in a way, we're not rushing it. We're doing it in a way that if we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way.
Right.
And it's so exciting because these guys that I'm working with, man, they're so creative. I KD is our creative director, and I got to tell you, man, like he's amazing when it comes to doing things the right way.
What a perfect fucking title for him, man.
Right.
That's it. Like if you could put it, like if he could make his own business card, creative director. Anything is creative. I bet he does a good job, and he'll get it done. Yeah.
Exactly, awesome. And he approves anything that's out there too. Like he's the he allows us to that anything that's out there, it's at it has a high value to it, right? So that's coming. The podcast, unless it has been, unless it's changes from here until then, it's going to be very simple. Talking with Serge.
So is this going to be like this is going to be the Reigndrop Productions podcast, or is it going to be like under that umbrella? Reigndrop Productions brings you.
Yeah, Reigndrop Productions talking. Yeah, okay, Reigndrop brings you.
So you have under your umbrella, you're going to have just because first time you already I'm hoping that I'm trying to pry this information out of you that you're not willing to tell me.
It's actually a real talk with Serge. Sorry.
I like it.
It's real talk with Serge. And we're going to focus on origin stories, right? In the business, in the entrepreneurship side of things.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't like origin story, man? Yeah. Everyone loves an origin story.
Yours was the most viewed, honestly. I tell you that. Now, again, I don't mean to interrupt, but like literally, I just looked at yesterday. It's the only reason I'm bringing it. It literally it was the most like over time, like not just because it was the first, but still getting listens, and that's what everybody said. They're like, I never even knew that about. Like they looked at you differently because nobody walks around going, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Serge." 25 years ago,
in 1983, just like the last time. I got to tell you, man, you're kind of a big. You were a big reason why we're doing this. We're one of the reasons why I
appreciate that.
I think that what you're doing here it's special, and we wanted to go ahead and kind of take that energy from you and build something great. So we're going to be looking at origin stories. It's going to be a video production as well. KD is really, really working hard on setting everything up with Hector, with Age as well. So
I don't want to just skip over this because again, I'm gonna keep trying to get you to answer questions you're not gonna want to answer. But like as far as like equipment, like what are you gonna do? Like did you sit down and go, all right, let's graph up this area, we want this and this. I mean, how did you come about?
That's a great question. I think a lot of that. I will be honest with you. I'm going to.
Do you have like a creative director I can speak
to? Our creative director definitely put our vision together. So like obviously, just like any business. Especially if you have a business with other owners and partners, business partners, your vision has to be pretty solid before you build something, right? So what we needed to do is make sure that our vision was immediately cohesive, right, between all three, and then after that. We have to trust that our creative director is going to put us in a position to succeed. A lot of the work that has been done on the setup has been KD has really taken on the brunt of that. I have helped a little bit, like when it comes to I very, very little when it comes to the creative side. I'll be honest. I think that he's so good that sometimes, you just want to say something around him, and maybe hopefully he'll like it and he'll go with it. You're
talking like Phil Jackson talking to Mike or Kobe. Something I thought of last night. Just something. What do you think? Crazy. Could you like anything?
And sometimes he does. And I do a lot of research to anything that I come up with or that I throw at him. But
I mean, you get the best creative director. I mean, I'd imagine you could just probably go, hey. Just cruise control, but like, hey, KD, here's figure it out, and he'd be like, "Yes, here it is."
He really is, man. A lot of it is him putting the plan together. Yes, it's been an expensive project so far, and it will continue to be. But that's the beauty of when having a goal, having a vision. We're not going to roll anything out that is not going to be at a high level for people to view or see. So I'm very excited about it. Yes, there's a lot of equipment that we had to get. Yes, the studio it's in construction right now. We're doing it all on our own too, which is kind of.
I've been following the videos.
It makes it a more of a. I don't know, a little bit of a pride. Yeah, it's almost like built it. Prideful.
Even if you only hit one nail, you say, I built it.
Right. I mean, I've been there. I've been supervising the whole project. I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Follow that through my creative director.
Like the other day, KD was getting ready to paint, and he needed a drink. So I went upstairs and poured him a Tito's and Red Bull. And it was not just a regular Tito's and Red Bull. It was an exceptional Tito's and Red Bull made with love, sweat, and tears.
Stir it with the head of the penis as well. I mean, as friends, it's something you do. I mean, I don't know if that's you guys or just me and my church.
I went downstairs, gave it to him, and I said, "Hey, that makes us even for all the work that you're doing."
I thought you were about to say that makes it even because I can't pay you for but I got you this name tag. Yeah, hang on one second. I gotta take a pee. Yeah. Look, I don't know what just happened. I just sat down.
Really don't know
I literally just sat down. I just went, and actually I went pee for a long pee. I probably lost a pound. I just sat down on this couch and sank in so deep. My microphone is at eye level.
You were almost gone.
Dude, I don't know what just. I kept sneaking lower. I'm like, dude, is something leaking? Is there air coming out of this bitch?
I was like, where is the host of this show?
Like, and thanks for joining. Oh, shit. Kyle's in the deep end.
No.
Oh, shit.
But no, so yeah, man, we're very excited about Reigndrop. There are more projects coming after that. I'm not going to divulge that information yet.
I tried.
But there are a lot of things happening on that side. But again, just be very patient with us. We wouldn't want to roll something out that is not with high standards and that is not going to be valuable. So we just wait for that. Real Talk with Serge. It's coming out very soon. We're gonna have a lot of people that are in our community, that have been very successful entrepreneurs with a lot of stories, a lot of resources. For those people that don't know where to start, man. Like I'm telling you guys, some of the subjects that we would be taught that we're gonna go ahead and tackle is, I kind of put together a little bit of a, outline of what you're gonna hear on this podcast. It's
no, again, this is just yours. Yours.
Yeah,
talking with Serge.
Yeah, Real Talk with Serge.
Real Talk with Serge. Gotcha. Real Talk.
We're gonna talk about how loyalty is a two-way street. We're gonna talk about mental health versus your dreams. How to put yourself in a position of power. How to take your fate into your own hands. I mean, some of the things that we're really gonna dive into. Everybody knows, obviously, I have a very, very extensive experience when it comes to sales. I don't believe I am the best sales representative out there, but I can tell you that it's one of my passions, right? So if you have a passion like that, how to just grow within what you're doing, we're going to dive into that. This one's kind of big for me. What is going to be your legacy? People don't talk about that. What do you want your legacy to be, Kyle? Like when everything is said and done, when your time has expired in this world, what is the legacy that you're gonna leave to your friends and family? Not to get morbid there.
No, I got you. No, man, that's honestly a question that I don't really think I've heard a lot of people talk about. So, but that means it's probably something people want to talk about.
Exactly. You know, we're going to talk about vision boards. How to even make a vision board. Do you write your goals down? How does that look like? Are defeats keeping you down? I mean, we're gonna dive into that. Some people
negative
don't.
impacts of negative thoughts.
Yeah, man. Like
the worst.
some people can't even get off the tracks just because they've had one small loss and they think, oh, it's over. Doing what I'm doing, what I've been doing in the last 5-7 years. Oh my goodness, I know about losses. I know about taking L's. But I don't think
I've congratulated anybody for coming back from more losses in a good way than you. I'm like, damn, well, congrats, bro. Made it to that one too.
I'm telling you, man, it's almost part of the game now. Like
it's like every year you're like, well, they found out dinosaurs are real, and now we got a T-Rex loose in our building. Like I feel like I'm like, wait, what happened?
We're gonna dive into trusting your instincts. We're gonna dive into so many things that are going to be so helpful for someone's personal growth. We're gonna dive into business in general. Negotiations, how to not take them personal. Negotiations with friends, negotiations with people you don't know. We really are going to be diving into some really deep subjects that I believe that if I had the resources when I was a little bit younger, I think I'd be a little bit farther. So I believe that if you are that person, stay tuned. I promise we are going to be creating a very high value project for everyone. So that's all I'll say about Reigndrop.
Okay, I got you. So I don't know if you want to bring it up here, but I mean, this is not going to be eventually as your end game, to be able to rent out the space for other people. I mean, is that something you want to yet, or is that because you want to wait until
That's a great question.
Episode 1?
That's a great question.
I
think
where you have me on.
I think at that point we will go ahead and the sky's the limit, right? We're never going to close the door to opportunities, but if that opportunity comes up. Absolutely, man.
Okay. I should know if somebody was out there, like maybe thinking about starting a podcast. Like, I don't know where to even start.
Correct.
You'd have an ability to have a suit that you could rent out for certain.
Correct. Okay. Exactly.
Because that's such a huge commodity for people that might not even know where to.
Yeah, and we do want you in there, bud. I do. I am excited to have you in our podcast as well. I mean, there's so many questions I want to ask you. I want to ask you right now, but I feel like I don't want to steal content from my own podcast.
Exactly. Yep. Don't blow your podcast load. I do it all every time somebody comes over. Man, I forgot to tell you last night. Shut up. Don't fucking talk to me. That's why I don't hang out with people before. No, you shut your mouth.
I do have a question though. I do want to ask you a question.
They are. It's 5 a question, but I'll.
Because this intrigues me, man. You have done. This is your 35th episode, right? And I was lucky enough to be your first episode when you started this.
Else. Like we ain't bringing that up.
No. Right?
that was a weird 7th grade day.
I can't. I do want to ask you though, bud, because I have heard you. I've listened to some of your episodes, and you're always asking. You always have great questions, and you let people go in tangents. You let me go in tangents, so I appreciate that. But I gotta tell you, if there is something, I got a couple questions. I guess my first question is, in the trajectory up to 35 episodes today, if you could tell me one thing that you have learned that was valuable that is valuable today that you did not know in that first episode. What would it be?
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry that I'm going so deep on this, but I can't wait for this answer.
There's so many fucking answers because it's been, I guess I could look at it in a selfish way of the people that I wanted to learn from. So I don't mean just learn from it. Are you from a different total fucking walk of life from me? Like like the Wheezy Blonde. She's like the biggest. She's big into wrestling, everything else. I hadn't watched wrestling in a long time, and I was like, hey, what's the deal? Just learning like that wrestling's kind of coming back and like some cool things from there. But really, man, is I started with the intention to get the intention was I want, hey, if who's ever listening, what can they learn? So I tried to kind of gear my guests towards that way, and then some funny, some not. The biggest thing, it's the weirdest thing, but the biggest thing you learn is what people are holding back. Like some people have, and I'm not going to bring up anything in particular, just I don't want to, but several times people have brought up things that maybe they were so afraid to say, and they were too vulnerable about it. They didn't feel like, oh, I'm a man, I'm not supposed to talk about that shit, or no, we don't have mental problems, things like that. And it was amazing to feel, holy shit, other people also go through this shit.
Everybody's going through something, right?
Right. I'm a big believer in, what you put into your brain's a machine. You put a bunch of negative things in there, man, Kyle, you fucked up again, and then you're telling your brain to think less of yourself.
Oh my goodness.
So over the past 2 years, I've listened to other people have, man, like you never know what other people are going through because they'll probably never tell anybody.
Yeah.
So to see people open up, and then even after the podcast and even after the episodes, have people that know that person said, hey, man, that was the most vulnerable that person's ever been. And, maybe people need this. And I don't want to think of like it's therapy. Maybe just because, especially with dudes, especially with guys, man. Guys, hey, we have mental health shit. We have mental health shit all the time. But you know what? Hey, the night that, you had a rough fucking day, you're about to quit your job, and you started bawling your eyes out, and you hated your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever else.
Yeah.
At that same time, somebody else is going through so much worse.
Absolutely.
So, and you find out, like, damn, like there's so much that people have hiding underneath that layer.
Wow.
The demons they're battling. That was probably the biggest thing I learned, is that mental health affects every dude, and they don't want to talk about it.
I think you said something a little bit ago that resonated with me a little bit, because so I have different mentors in my life, right? I have, business mentors, I have life mentors. And one of the things I've been challenged with in the past, when I'm in a very negative, in the negative rabbit hole that I call it, that it can really
usually a mouse hole. Don't steal my rabbit.
All right. Lola, where are you? One of the things that I've been challenged in recently is, one of my mentors asked me to do this, and he says, and I'll never forget it. And I think I don't do it all the time, but once I'm aware of it, I immediately try to change it. And is, try to go one day without saying one negative thing about anything that is happening in your life.
Ooh.
Maybe a bill's late. That's all right. You're here today. You were here yesterday. You're going to be here tomorrow. Right. So let's go ahead and maybe not die on the sword so quickly, because you're still breathing. Right. I think that's so, it hit deep for me, man, because there are so many things that you can be negative about. Like for me, I have a business. There's constantly obstacles to go over. Oh, a employee's not coming in today. Oh, there's going to be more work today. Oh, we didn't get this sale. That's going to affect our revenue. I'm having a disagreement with my business partner, or I believe this should be done this way or that way. Try to just spin everything. Find the positive. Try to find the positive out of anything negative that is happening around you, or at least have the ability to think positively about it. And I'm going to tell you, man, if you are able to do this, and that's not very many people are, but if you are able to do this, it'll change your life. It'll change the way that you see things. I'm not saying that this is a quick fix. I'm not saying that this is going to immediately click something in you that you're going to look at that way. But I'm going to tell you this. It's going to allow you to have a good day. It's going to allow you to have today. It's going to be a good day. And really, no matter what is thrown at you, no matter what curveballs, life throws at you, I believe that that it's something to strive for. And again, I'm not perfect at doing it, but I have done it in the past. And every single time that I've done it with that intention of just being positive throughout the whole day, no matter whatever is happening, because what happens? A lot of times we just look for negative things to happen. Even when they're not happening, we're just waiting for it. And it's like, well, that hasn't happened. That's what you're going to find out. You're going to find out that a lot of the negative thoughts, a lot of the negative things are happening that you think are happening are not even there. Like you're just making it up because something, you're just waiting for the worst to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. That's what I found out. So it's great that you say that because I have some great people in my life, and they've always kind of kept me above water in some of these things, and kept me very self-aware of my my thinking. So.
No, I mean, I definitely think that rolls right into, like, when everybody kept giving me the little rumor, and Serge will tell you about it. Serge will tell you about it. I'm like, we talk what's going on, but you've always been, we talked about it, 2 years ago on the podcast. That you're positive, you're influence, and leadership is empowerment. If you can empower somebody to, hey, I trust you into doing this. You know, and I think you exude that, and that's not something that a lot of people have, like there's a very few people in my life that I think that exude like leadership. Because leadership is, you don't have to be in a leadership position. You don't have to be a CEO, a CFO.
Correct.
You don't have to be
Correct.
a manager. You could be, anything you want. It's about you're willing and open to offer advice to people, and you're humble enough to say that you don't have all the answers. And I think that's kind of,
man, you're right on that. I am a different person than I was 2 years ago, and I'm glad that I am able to see that. I still have some great qualities, right? People are your foundation. I think will follow you for forever. But I think that first episode that we had, I talked a little bit about evolution when it comes to positivity and happiness. I think you asked me one time.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you right there.
Okay.
Because Sergio, 2 years ago, I asked you 2 questions.
All right.
I don't need you can read my script, you cheating ass.
No, I did. I promise.
Yeah,
I promise.
Sure. I see what's going on there. Well, you rolled right into my. I'm like, you son of a bitch. All right, well, you should make a studio or something, like a podcast. I think you'd be good at a podcast. No, you rolled right 2 years ago. I asked you these 2 questions.
Give it to me.
What is today? Again, I asked you this 2 years ago. Okay. What is a common myth about your job or field of expertise?
A common myth?
Mm-hmm.
A common myth. I think a common myth that I have experienced is that you're rolling in the money when you have a business, and I think that's an obvious goal when you become an entrepreneur. But there is so much grind that comes before that. There's so much grind. And you're just, you feel, no, not that you feel, you are, while people are saying, oh, you look like you're doing great, your bills are behind, you're trying to just stay afloat, you're trying to pay for your kids, education, you're trying to do so much to balance it. I think a common myth is that an entrepreneur, once they have a business, they've made it. And I think we don't talk enough about the mental health of an entrepreneur while trying to reach their goals. I would say. I will say I've been in this game now from I guess in my business for this is my fifth year now, but this is my fifth year.
Ownership.
Ownership, yeah. And I am obviously I'm a lot better today than I was 2 years, 3 years ago. Things are I'm reaping some of the benefits of that of the sweat and tears that we put in here in this. I mean, it's not a joke, guys. It's hard work.
Now your business is, however much more. I know you've grown a lot in 2 years. What is how many hours a day do you work? And then how many hours do you get sleep?
I'm actually pretty good with like 6 hours of sleep.
Okay.
Like 6 if I can
what's your crash out time? What do you KO at?
I would say 11.
Okay.
It's probably my time that I tend to go to sleep. And then I'm probably I start waking up and being restless around 5 o'clock. Because
you're CEO brain.
Well, you've
been sleeping long enough, Sergio, to get your ass up.
Exactly, right? It becomes almost like if you stay in bed for too long, it almost becomes like your own personal like punishment. Like, what are you doing?
That's such a that's such a fucking CEO. That's what I love about you. That's a fucking CEO moment. You're laying in bed before that's something that so many people would love just to. Oh God, if I could hit that snore button till 10, you're like, fuck, that's 5 hours of.
But it took a little bit. Now it does come in waves, guys. I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, that's just how I've been treating it. I think that there are times where you're just kind of like, well, I'll sleep till 6, and but I think overall, when you're starting, like I would say the last 4 years, yeah, man, like you're constantly working towards your goals. And I always tell this story because I always think it shows the commitment that I chose at one point. I was at Disney World with my kids one day, and obviously I'm on vacation with my family, but there was like a very serious phone call that I needed to be on, right? Like for business, for work. And I'm literally in the Dumbo line to go into while I was at Disney World with my daughter. And I went on to that ride literally on a conference call while I was flying on the Dumbo ride. And the people are asking me, what's going on in the background? And I was like, guys, don't worry about that. I'm just, I'm let's move forward with this conversation,
let's
right?
Focus.
Right. And my daughter's next to me, right? She's having so much fun. And I'm literally on this conference call trying to close this deal because I know how important it is to our business. I always say that not to like brag about it, it's about the commitment that it shows, right? I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna answer it with another question.
Okay.
And the answer to your question is, can you consider putting your life on the line for your passion?
Hold on. What is that? Like, if somebody came to the door and said, "Hey, I'm taking all of your podcast gear, or I'm shooting you in the face," they are taking all of. Actually, matter of fact, I might even show them around the house. Anything else you want to take? I guess maybe clarifying what you mean. Am I going to die if I don't podcast? No, bro, I'll never podcast again. I got the draft coming up.
I'll tell you what, though, Kyle. I think we can joke around something like that, but the truth of the matter is. Are you willing to put how I look at that is, are you willing to prioritize your passion, to reach, whatever level of success that you are hoping for or that you're trying to reach.
I got you.
Are you willing to understand that, for a little bit, there you are going to prioritize your passion over some of the things in your life, including
relationships, friends, family, things
family,
like that.
friends. I mean, let's be honest. Did I feel great taking a call, on a Dumbo ride while my daughter was next to me having a good time? That doesn't feel amazing because I try to preach, do everything with intent, right? And that time I was spending time with my daughter. But I understand that the only reason why we're even there is because I do things like that, right? Now I don't get to do things like that anymore. Thank God. I have a team of people that I trust, my business partners that I trust, that if I'm not there, things are going to be taken care of. But at one point of my life, yeah, man, I had to do that and more. I had to go ahead and work, from 6 o'clock in the morning to 11 p.m. I was on the phone constantly, dealing with other things, dealing with other people trying to tear you down.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I was probably a little naive, thinking that the industry and the industry was going to, welcome us with open arms. The truth of the matter is that's
yeah.
not.
No, I think you got the opposite. I think you got welcomed with fucking samurai swords and fucking lawyers. And
exactly.
judges.
I mean, yeah, man.
I'm just trying to make a living.
But and those are things that you end up learning throughout the path that you're in, and ultimately it's about, are you willing to put it all on the line, man, and know that you have zero safety net under it. There is no other way to explain it, Kyle. Like, I wish, I hear people sometimes, oh, I work on this on the side, or I want to do this. This is ultimately what I want to do. I'm spending a little bit of time on it. Listen, do your research, learn, become an expert on everything that you do. But until you jump, until you are willing to lay it all out there on the line, until you're willing to do that, it's gonna be very hard to reach those goals that you have on that vision board, and I know that very, very well today.
Yeah.
So
if anybody does, it's you. But my second question is what's the biggest challenge you're facing today?
I think what I face with today, the challenge that I'm facing with today is, ultimately, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? Right? What, I'm trying to learn what kind of boundaries I don't want to cross, what kind of things I want to, how do I reach my goals without compromising who I am? And I think that's basically where the struggle where I'm at now, to be honest with you. I know you. I can see your face, man. You want to ask me like tons of questions, but
I know,
I'm not. I'm not gonna dive in too deep on that because I think some of them are very personal. But I believe that I struggle with the struggles that I have today are more within myself and where I'm willing to. I've always said this. You almost have to sell out a little bit, right? While you're trying to reach some goals, but then you can't lose yourself, right? And I think right now, I've reached a level of, a little bit of success. I'm not enough to be like, oh wow, but I'm very proud of where we are, where I am now.
You're kind of at like the self actualization phase.
Right.
Like you hit that success. It's almost like that pyramid. Remember, like you started here, you built. Now you're like, all right, what do I?
What's the end goal, right? What's the end goal? You start asking, hey, man, like what is the end goal? And then you start understanding the sacrifices that you've made and the sacrifices that you still need to continue to do to get to that next level, and some of the sacrifices within yourself of who you are, what you believe in, who you love, who you want around you. I think I am now into that phase. What am I willing to give up from myself in order to reach the goals that I have? Trying to figure out what is enough. Like for me, like So here's the answer that I always tell people. Everybody asks me, well, Sergio, what is enough for you? And I always say, if you're like me, there's no answer to that. You want it all. The answer that you want to have is you want it all. It's not enough. Nothing is enough.
The word is yours, my friend. Huh? I believe that was Scarface.
And I think operationally and daily, you have to have that mentality. Nothing is enough. You want to take what you want to take and go out there, right? 2 years ago when we had this podcast, I was very humble that I was even around people that wanted to reach some of those goals with me, right? Mm-hmm. Today, I'm still humble, right? That I have had this opportunity, but today I've also, what I have learned is that I am good at what I do, man, right? And I have to walk that way, and I will walk that way. And the reason why is because I put a lot of time into it, man. I do. I when it comes to sales, man, I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough. I want to know everything that has to do with reaching goals, reaching that 1% of people that are doing well out there, in at least in that industry, right? And I'm generalizing sales, but it is what I do, right? That's my passion, right? So, like, because it's my passion, I'm going to try to learn everything about it. I want to know what.
Try to kill yourself for your passion.
Boom.
And that's a better definition.
Exactly. I'm going to put it all on the line to figure it out. To, like I said, I am not the best. I can tell you right off the bat, there's other people out there that are better than me on what I do. But man, I believe that not a lot of people can outwork me on learning, that side of things, and putting it together.
I mean, that just the fact that you had accidentally worked into me as these questions, but literally, I mean, if you think about it, we talked about 2 years ago, you said, what's the common myth about your job? You kind of explained the same thing, is that the expectation of CEOs have a bunch of money, know? And you kind of explained how then, like, at that time, I'm not going to get into all the details, but you were having to pay out a lot more than you were getting back.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So at that point,
man,
you were like, there's no extra money for the certain type of things you're looking for, and like you look at it, and 2 years later, it's a similar thing, but the difference is when I asked you, what's the biggest challenge you're focused on, you were so worried about doing everything yourself 2 years ago that you were, and now you're worried about your legacy. I mean, just what the fuck, 2 years of change.
No doubt,
2 years
man.
ago, going, well, gotta close this deal, get this customer, this and this,
No doubt,
this
man.
and this, and now like you're worried about not. If your worry is your legacy, that means that's almost a level like I mentioned, like to self-actualization, where you're like, hey, this is who I want to be, and if I get to this point, then it's all just your legacy. So,
man, trust your instinct. I mean, right? Trust your instinct. I think that if you continue to do that, I think some of those answers, and that's what I'm doing, man. Some of those answers will become. I don't have them all today, Kyle, and I hope that maybe in 2 years you can have me back again, and I can tell you that I have some answers to some of the things that I'm going through today. But man, what a ride, though. I'm telling you guys, it's a beautiful disaster, right? It's a beautiful disaster because it's a beautiful ride that will have you on your knees, right? But you get to see the sunrise in moments that you have that validate all the pain and suffering and all the sacrifices that you put into your craft, into your passion. That man has put me in some beautiful, beautiful moments in my life. That brought some beautiful moments into my life. I've also had some of the most emptiest moments of my life as well as I reach some of my goals, and allows me to really, really focus on the people and the things that I do love, that I find that fill my cup. I mean, I have been in situations where there is 100 people around me, celebrating what we have done, and I found myself, feeling very, very empty in some of those moments, right? A lot of them is because some of the people that I love, or some of the people that I think highly of, or that helped me get to that point, have not been there. So I am not naive. I think last time, 2 years ago, we talked about you asked me what makes me wake up every day and grind and be positive, and I gave you the answer of it's my environment. Brother, that has not changed. My environment is very, very key to my mental health, man. You take that environment out, and I don't know if I'm as effective, to be honest, and I don't want to know. Take your fate into your own hands, people. Take the fate into your own hands. That's all I'll say.
All right, man. We celebrated a little Patron shot here. I know we talked a little, off mic about it, but a lot has happened the past 2 years, and most recently the passing of somebody we all know and love, and Johnny Gomez. R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace, my man. Yeah,
and I remember, my introduction is you go, hey, you need to hire him.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, look, he is like my little brother. He is a sponge. He'll learn. I remember you go, hey, look at this right here. And you point it to your arm. You go, he's under my wing now.
Oh my God!
And I remember, hey, I'm telling you what, man, you got him to the point where, I mean, he was legit. Still wore those tight pants when he climbed that ladder. I'll never forget that.
I heard the name DJ Skinny Jeans, coming at you
when you were standing behind him on that. He was climbing the ladder. You're like, Johnny, man, you can't do this, man. You can't. These jeans are cool, but not on this ladder.
Man.
But I mean, it was a rough moment for everybody. I mean, I think you had to shed some light on kind of your relationship, how he was, important part of your life, and that. And
yeah, man, it's this is a tough conversation, for anybody that loved Johnny. It's a tough conversation for me because I can only speak for myself, but I really got to spend some quality time with him, since he was since he was 5 years old, 6 years old, coming down. He has an older brother that we all grew up with, KDH, and myself. His name is John Gomez. He shout out to John Gomez. He works at the South Bend Fire Department. Shout out to the South Bend Fire Department in South Bend. And he just became our little brother, man, at that time. So fast forward, 10, 15 years, and now everybody's a little older, and I was able to, like you said, take him under my wing, take him to places and show him some fun. And later on, he really, when in his later years, he really became, someone that was actively in my life. I will say I wasn't as active, in the last couple of years, as we were, I would say maybe 7 years ago, or, but, I appreciated my friendship with him. He always introduced me as his cousin, and I never cared to. Oh my God, bro! I'm sorry. I never cared to correct him.
It took you a year working with him to tell me that you guys weren't actually cousins.
I know. And I just that's how much he had a lot of love for me, and that's how much I looked at him. What a man, what a great guy when it comes to overall. I was talking to you earlier. Well, we all have deficiencies. Johnny had his deficiencies, as we all have them, right? But man, today I can't even tell you what they were. Because all I want to talk about and all I want to think it's the great moments that I had with him, right? Yeah. Ultimately, I was able to have some really great moments with him, man. We went on vacation together. My wife loved him, we were just inseparable for a little bit there, and I was able to really, really we were very active in our relationship for quite some time, and I'll never forget that. We had some great moments. We had some personal moments. I won't, I'll keep to myself, because they were beautiful. But if no one knows the story, Johnny passed away on January 14th, I believe. Or was it January 14th? Yeah, it was January 14th, January 15th, something like that. He'd been dealing with cancer for the last year and a half, and he never complained, never wanted people to even know about it. He didn't want anybody to worry about him. He never promoted it because he never wanted fake love from anyone. I got to see him the last couple of weeks of his life, and I was very, very thankful that I was able to do that. But what he gave me was positive reinforcement. I don't even think we talked much. He didn't talk much about him. He was more worried about how I was doing, how my kids were doing, and how Kayla was doing. That's the type of guy that guy was, man. I am grateful to been able to have him in my life and call him my cousin and my brother. And I will continue to remember him in a beautiful light. No one that met that guy has anything negative to say. And like I said, I talked a little bit at his funeral, and even if there was somebody out there that didn't like him, I can guarantee you it was not because of Johnny. It was because they had some type of problem, with themselves or whatever it was. That I can tell you. I will tell you this, that that moment in life, brought together some people that haven't seen each other in a very long time. Again, Johnny bringing people together in a positive light, and I'm grateful of that. The amount of support, the amount of rallying that his friends, his family did to make sure that things were taken care of when all of this went down. I have never seen it, and I've never been a part of something so beautiful. The way that everyone came, especially the friends and family, that we came together to make sure that the family was taken care of. I'm going to tell you, man, that's the type of legacy I'm looking for. When we talked about legacy earlier today, what a legacy when that your friends and family are going to come together and make sure that your father, your sister, your brother, that they feel the love that we had for him. Shout out to Johnny, man. I love you, brother. We miss you. And thank you to everyone that has shown support and love on that side of things. So that's what I'll say about that guy.
No, man, I haven't really much else you had to say. He was he's always the most positive person I've ever met. He would deal with Hispanic customers. And what I loved about him is, he's pretty good at learning. Like, he would just know everybody's dialects. He would just jump across. Oh, hang on, they're from Ecuador. Let me talk to him. Like, he was getting screamed at by a customer one day, and he screamed at in Spanish. I kind of walked over and tried to act like, hey, is there something I can help you with? But there was obviously a language barrier, and he finally looked at me and goes, "No, these people are fucking trash, Kyle. You know what? I've done everything." And I've never heard him ever at that point. And then he later told me what they were saying to him in Spanish. Like, first off, nobody ever of my employees ever getting talked like that, because I didn't know what they were saying. I know the curse words or whatnot. They weren't cursing out of him, but they were basically just, and he was just the most calm the entire time. And he goes, "Yeah, they didn't have a great experience." I'm like, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, first off, they were Ecuadorian, so they spoke faster Spanish. Took me a couple minutes to figure it out, but then they started just cussing and hating the world, and I tried to calm down, and it just didn't work out for them." I go, "What?" Yeah. I go, "That all just happened right here?" Like, he just had the ability to, you meet certain people, and you're like, "Damn, I hope that person's having a good day." I'm one of those people. Like, you come to work, and if I'm in a bad mood, it could ruin the scene. But with him, there was never a bad mood day. Like, I remember the day he broke up with his chick, came in the next day. And I was like, "You good?" He's like, "Yeah, things happen." I'm like, "And you showed up to work? That's a lot."
He's very selfless, man. Very selfless person. Very positive person. He taught me more. It's so funny that you said earlier, this guy right here, I'm going to put him under my wing. And I think he taught me more than I think I was able to even try to teach him in the last, years of his life that he will ever know. So I wish that if something like that happened to me, I have the courage and strength to deal with how he dealt adversity at the end.
I agree.
I
don't think I would.
To be honest with you, man, I pride myself into being in presenting this person that is in control and strong individual, but he definitely made me realize that I have work to do, and I'll never forget our dancing parties at Sprint prior to opening the store. Closing time, You know, getting beers with him after work across the street.
At
what's that restaurant?
Friday, half off appetizer.
You know, my vacations with him. You know,
Jacksonville Johnny.
Jacksonville Johnny. The love that my family had for him. You know, it just made me realize, man, like, you know, when I talked to you about like making time earlier in the podcast, right? I talked to you about 30, 40 minutes making time for someone if you want them to be active in your life. I think that I regret not having that mentality with him at the end. I mean, I know he loved me, and I know he knows that I loved him, and we didn't need to see each other every day to know that. And we had very big moments in our lives that were undeniable. Will live in time. But you know, it has made me realize how important it is to make time for the people that you love. Yeah. Because we don't know how long we have in this world, man. And you know, I love that I had some time with him at the end. I really, it made things a lot better for me emotionally, I think. You know, and looking back at some of the pictures, it's awesome, man. Like it reminds me that man, he was very active at one point of my life. So I will go back to what I said before, Kyle. Even I offer this to you, man, because I feel like you're part of you're part of my life, man. You were very active at one point. You know, I'm offering 30, 40 minutes for people to meet somewhere and just have a quick chat, you know, of how are things going with your life. And I think it's important that you at least have that, man. You know, people might say, well, Serge, man, that's kind of crazy. You're not willing to give more. No, I'm not. It's not that I'm not willing to give more. It's that I'm just respecting people's time and their responsibilities in their lives. And same with me. I have a lot. But I am willing to do that, man, and more than ever. So,
well, if you ever like do anything with like podcasting or anything, hit me up. You know, I mean, you know, if you ever you know, have like a show or something.
I have a feeling, buddy, that you know, we're gonna be talking a lot more here coming up. So
you trying to disrespect my $17 microphones? Because I feel like that's kind of what you're doing, and they were $17.50. So don't think that I only spent, you know.
What I'm thinking is you have about 35 episodes more experience than I do, and then I would like to go ahead and reap the benefits of the experience that you have accumulated in the last 2 years. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm happy to be your friend because it allows me to tap into some of the things and do things maybe not make the mistakes that you know that some people are doing that you did. You know, you can teach me.
Don't put anybody ever in front of a microphone if they're scared. Just don't fucking do it. You're not going to get them to drink through it. You're not going to get them to smoke through it, even if you have a heroin. I don't think, just if they're scared, if they're not sure, just say, you know what, we're all set.
Hey, thank you for coming to Johnny's viewing and funeral, man. That meant a lot. Also, Craig Zion.
Yeah, Craig Zion. It's been a couple. Been a minute since I brought back the Craig Zion. Damn. I think one more time just for the kids at home. Craig Zion.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
I feel like Craig needs to have his own show on a Sunday. You know, Sunday afternoon, you know.
He's also a dude that won't do it. He's not comfortable for the mic. He's like, I'll do whatever, man. Do whatever. He's the background guy, whatever. I'm like,
what a great name to have those for something like that, right?
It does seem pretty cool when you're singing and kind of. You can do it any different tone, and it kind of sounds cool.
No doubt. I like that guy too.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not. I like that guy.
You said believe it or not. Believe it or not. I mean,
I actually like that guy.
He's kind of a weirdo.
No, the only reason why I say is because I don't talk to him as much, and I like to talk to him a little bit more too. So
well, the good thing about him is me and him, we have the same work schedule, so we're available mostly from morning until mostly night.
I get it.
And then the weekends.
I get it.
It's one of those things. I'm glad I had you on. Like I wanted to. It was fun. The questions I asked is I was like, want to know from being a true CEO, which the past 2 years have been, even crazier than you were previous to, and and to see kind of, the trajectory you're on and how like you've changed from focusing on we got to close a sale to like we're established. What's our next step?
Right, man.
So let me kind of ask you an ending question, if you will. What do you foresee 5 years from now, ITG? What do you want? What do you expect? What's your goals?
Oh man, ITG, on the ITG front, ITG is focused on growth, man. I foresee it, not probably. I foresee it being in other areas. What I mean by that, in other states. We're gonna continue to move forward on the vision of providing a one-stop solution for communities, and on the IT side as well as on the document management side. I see us, in Chicago. I see us in down south. I see us just continuing to infect other environments, and that's where I see us. I mean, I also on that side of things, I also see different things on for myself. The growth of Reigndrop.
There you go.
The other endeavors that I am starting to dabble into, right? When it comes to the entrepreneurship side of my life, right now there is no ceiling.
That's good.
I feel like I have too much energy still, man. I feel myself like I'm young still, you don't
gotta say it that way. We can call ourselves young. Look, as a team and a unit, we need to understand that we are young. Okay,
we are.
On the 60th birthday, then I'll be like, you know what? Hey, we're not spring chickens.
I will say this, man. I see myself starting to focus more on personal growth because I feel like if you focus on your personal growth, I think everything else falls into place. Like your growth in your business, it all kind of combines itself, and it's inevitable that all that kind of takes its own growth trajectory. But I am focusing on a little bit on just being better than today than I was yesterday. That's what I'm focused on. Self-enlightenment. It's what I'm really focusing. I just want to be better, man. I want my legacy to be better. Maybe it has to do a little bit with the Johnny situation. That guy, left a good legacy, man, and I want good things when I'm done, when everything is said and done on my chapter. I want people to look back to this podcast and judge me on what happened afterwards. I'm hoping that I don't let people down, but if I do, or if I take L's, I just want to be able to be strong enough to just continue to grind in every aspect of the game. Okay. It's like The Wire. I don't know if you remember The Wire back in the day.
Oh yeah,
the game is the game. It'll never change, right? So That's Avon Barksdale for everybody out there, so.
Well, no, I mean, again, honestly, like I said, I mean, I've obviously known you forever. Even before you were a CEO, I was always like, bro, you're going to own your business. Like,
Man, you did say that.
Yeah, but too many times. Like, bro, what are you doing here? I mean, you don't need to quit. You can just take off. You want to get out?
Thank you, man.
You never have. You've had probably the most stress, out of people. I saw you in your most stress. And the way you still leave yourself available for other people's emotions is something that a lot of CEOs can't say.
You say all those things, and I'm uncomfortable, to be honest, when you say some of those things.
Competitive people hate compliments.
I'm so uncomfortable when you say some of those things because there's so much things that I'm working on, and there's so many weaknesses that I self-evaluate every day on. I am my worst critic. Thank you for all your compliments. I'm learning to really feel good about that. But I'm not done yet, and there's so much that I have planned, so much things that I'm not finished with, and I'm excited to move forward. And for all the haters out there, right? Because you always have some, right? You always have some people that are just waiting for your downfall.
I have 72. 71 pending. But
you always have people that are waiting for your downfall. Sometimes they're the same people that you have even in your environment. Today will not be the day.
Well, yeah, you'll care less about what people think about you when you realize how little they think about you.
Exactly.
Because it's in your own brain. Like, this motherfucker hates me. I'm not going to listen to this. Meantime, they're just over there singing Golden Girls jingles.
And I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what kind of mistakes or what kind of things that's the beauty of life. But I am appreciative of the support that I have today. So I thank you, bud. I thank you for allowing me to be your friend.
Well, I mean, I'd charge you, so it's not really like a friendship. Which, by the way, you're at $75 for this. I mean, I know.
I'll make sure.
Yeah, well, you keep saying your MySpace app's not working, which I don't know what the fuck
MySpace, man.
Your friends.
My top 10.
Yeah. No, I mean, I always have a ball when I have you on because we always have good conversations. And I think you're the epitome of just keep hustling and working hard, and those answers will be the questions will be answered. So, I mean, obviously, before we leave, man, is there anything? Any shout? You already, you used two of your shout outs. Okay, I gave you one free. Any shout outs? And then is there anything happening with ITG? Where can they find you? Anything new going on?
I mean, always itghelp.com. We are a technology firm that specializes in managing network infrastructures, as well as document management solutions and voice over IP solutions as well. Anything that has to do with technology, we got our hands on. So if you are a business that is looking for that, for that, we are here. We are here to help. You can contact me directly at sales@itghelp.com. On the other side, please be very, very on the lookout for Real Talk with Serge, Reigndrop Productions. You're going to see us in the digital platforms coming up. We have a lot of projects and a lot of goals on that side of things. And then if you're a friend that's been a part of my life, call me, text me. We'll make some time, and I promise you that if you're willing to do so, I'm here for you as well. So I love you. I love everyone that's been a part of my life that has helped me to get to where I am. I want to give my final shout out to my wife, my kids. I love you. I do everything for you guys. You guys are my why. And that is a strong why for me. So thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, buddy.
Bingo. Yeah, hell yeah. Wait. Again, thank you everybody for listening and joining. And before we go, we're gonna do one more. Ready? The
Greg Zion.